Now, the University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, has cautioned politicians to stay away from making unguarded comments about happenings at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Central Regional Correspondent Richard Kwajonyako has been speaking with the UTAG President, Dr. Eric Opoku-Mensah.
What we are concerned as a national body are comments coming from certain political actors, on social media platforms and on radio, calling for the head of the Vice Chancellor. We think this call is unfortunate and unnecessary, especially at this time, because Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology has a governing council, and the council is properly constituted. It will interest many to know that government has 4 representatives on the council. One of them is the chair of the council. And the council has a representation from SRC. The SRC president is on council. The UTAG president is on that same council. TEU, the Tertiary Education Workers Union, has a representation on council, and CHAS also has a representation. And therefore, this very matter that has brought about this crisis was a policy decision that was made at council, of which the Vice Chancellor is a member. Of course, the Vice Chancellor is the head of the management team of the university. And therefore, as a result of student response to this policy, if certain unfortunate things have happened, UTAG does not think that the entire blame should be laid at the feet of the Vice Chancellor. Be it as it may, whatever has happened, we think that these political actors ought to be mindful and circumspect of the comments they are making, and allow the governing council to act, because the constitution gives provision for the president to appoint the chair of the governing council. So technically, when you take every public university, including KNUST, the council has a strong government representation.
So you feel that it will be unfair for people to pour their venom on the Vice Chancellor alone, because he is just the implementer of the decision that was taken?
Exactly, because that's how our university works. Once a policy comes from council, the Vice Chancellor has the mandate to implement the policy. So in the course of implementation, and students react in a certain way and it leads to this position, or we get to this point, you cannot say that the Vice Chancellor should be taken out of office. And even if that decision ought to be taken, which I don't think we've gotten there, or we should even get there, we think it is the call that should be made by the University Council. Because the University Council that appoints the Vice Chancellor. Universities, public universities in Ghana are autonomous, and they are governed by Act. So we ought to be careful. Look, what has happened is unfortunate. Students have been asked to go home, but as of now, there are many international students who are still waiting to know what happened. The university doesn't want to ask them to go home because of the financial implication. And certainly their parents are waiting to see what happens. The way we react and decide, regarding this matter would help prospective parents to even decide whether they should even send their children to Ghanaian universities, and for that matter, Kenya University. And many international institutions, those who bring research funds and all of that, are watching the comments on social media and knowing that whether the university has a lot of influence from government and all of that. So we need to be careful and protect these institutions. This doesn't mean that when things are going on, we cannot come in and make a point. I think that it will be okay if we criticize what has happened. But you see a calculated attempt by certain individuals who are associated with government, targeting and making comments that are suggestive of the fact that a plan has been hatched and that the Vice Chancellor needs to go down. UTAG doesn't support that position. And what we want to tell these individuals is to stay away from the university and allow the legitimate council to work.
Which comments have you chanced upon from certain people who are...
I think they are all pointing to the fact that the Vice Chancellor very soon will leave office. I don't know what powers they have, but UTAG is watching closely, and we want to see what happens. I think we live in a country that believes in the rule of law, and we should allow our universities to work, because universities all over the world, if they are going to exist and produce quality students and cutting-edge research, they need to be given the space to do what they have to do. And I think that the governing council has every mandate, every power to be able to come out, take the university out of this crisis situation.
Are you worried about political interferences in the running of universities in Ghana these days? We saw what happened at the University of Education, Winneba, and currently what is also boiling up at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology.
I think there has been a history to this, and for some reasons, I don't want us to even go back into the EUW issue because of the courts, the complexity of the court cases and all of that. But whatever it is, UTAG, we've had a meeting today. We are looking at what is happening on KNUST campus closely. And we are going to send a delegation to meet the management. We are going to support the university to do whatever it takes to come out of it, because KNUST is one of our national pride. And whatever it is, we ought to protect it. Look, things happen all over the world in universities. But whatever it is, we will protect the institution and help them to overcome. Because you see, now as part of strategies of developed countries, they are, as part of their tourism strategy, they are embarking on educational tourism to make sure that their higher institutions or education institutions are positioned to attract foreign students to come with their money, bring scholarship money to come, and they pay dollars, and it helps, the country. And we cannot run down our institutions and people make comments on social media, and the next moment you realize the Vice Chancellor is out. People will not take you seriously on the international space.
Feel that the universities, they hide under the fact that they are autonomous and they can do whatever they want. In the case of the KNUST, people feel that the students felt oppressed, and that is why they had to react the way they did.
I do not know. I think that a lot of us also do not understand the way the university system works. So that people run to government to go and appeal. Meanwhile, the council that sanctioned this policy had a strong government representation. The council chair is appointed by the president himself. So it's not that the vice chancellors don't have a free hand to do whatever they like. Everything they do is just like a chairman of a chief executive of an organization who needs to present proposals for sanction and approval by the board.
So you feel that if the vice chancellor is going down, the council should go down as well, because...
And that's UTAG President Dr. Eric Opoku-Mensah in that conversation with Richard Kwejo Nyako, talking about what has happened at the KNUST. Let's cross over and go to Tech Live now to join Erastus Asare Donko, who is there to report. Erastus, what's happening on campus? What do you see? What can you report on?
Well, where we are standing now is the Brunei hostel. And this is where many of the foreign students reside on campus. The rest of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology is empty, with the exception of the Zoom Lion recruits who are sweeping and ensuring that the place is tidy. There's nobody on site. All the halls have been locked. All the students have dispersed. In fact, we are understanding that some who live very far away, I'm referring to the northern regions and other parts, they have sought refuge in some hostels around and all that. Some of them have also resided here. So that's the situation. There's nobody on campus with the exception of those who are tidying up the place, the military people who are on patrol and all that. So where we are standing now houses many of the foreign students. They are inside their rooms now. We tried a couple of times to speak with some of them, but they wouldn't want to come out to talk to us. But I have a gentleman here who is a student. I'll find out from him why he's still here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Why are you still here? All the students are gone.
Yeah, actually, I was supposed to be in the house by now, but we had a program. I'm a scholar, and we had a program at Golden Tulip, so they had to sort permission for us to be here.
Okay. Yeah. So there are how many of you?
20 of us. Just 20 of us. We are 500 in number, but we are 20 of us who went to the Golden Tulip. So the rest of us are here. We'll be leaving very soon in no time. In fact, they've been coming to our rooms, knocking, telling us to leave their rooms.
Who has been coming to your room?
The security guards around.
So it's like you're being kicked out. Said you have to leave.
Kind of.
How does that make you feel?
I don't know, but it's just like a normal feeling because of the situation that has happened. And in fact, they were sacking the students yesterday, and because of the meeting I went, that's why I have the authority to be here. And so it's normal. It's normal.
When they were sacking the students yesterday, how did they feel like? How did?
Yeah, it was just a hearsay. I was at the Golden Tulip when I heard that the students were being asked to go home. Yeah, actually, but I did not feel well. In fact, I was very sad yesterday for we being students of this university, and then something of this sort that has happened, and then we've been asked to go home. Yeah, impromptu. It's not a good feeling at all.
Let me take your take on what has happened so far, right from the start up to now. What's your take on that?
It's actually, from my point of view, and as a student, I see it to be something. I don't actually know how to describe it, but it's everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. It started when the students. I didn't witness because we were just inside. We were not asked to go out. So I was a hearsay that a student was brutalized by the security man, and then the students were also going to, I don't know, get their boys back, and then the whole thing happened. But the demonstration was sparkled by the SRC executives. I would say the SRC president. He gave the authorization that students should embark on that. But I don't know. He didn't take precautions for it because he thought it's going to be a peaceful demonstration, but by the time he realized things has happened the way they have.
But the reasons for the demonstration, do you support it?
I cannot disclose what I.
But is it real? Some of the issues they raise, brutalities by the local security. They say the local security do not respect them. They treat them like children, and they molest them sometimes. Is this something that you personally has witnessed or experienced?
I can't stand here to say anything about that. It may happen. It's true. The stories came up, and then the brutalization was there. But as in what happened before a student was being brutalized is what I have no idea about. So I can't actually give a narrative about that.
So you are on your way to your hometown. Where do you come from?
Kaswa.
Accra.
Yes, sure.
Oh, okay. So safe journey there.
All right.
Right. He's one of about 20 students who are residing here at the Brunei hostels at the moment. We understand that some of the students who could not travel yesterday because their destinations are very, very far, when they were asked to leave by the military, they have lodged somewhere around town, outside campus, in some of the hostels. Some of them have sought refuge with friends and other relatives. And so that's the situation at the moment. There's nobody on campus at the moment. The halls are closed. There are military men posted at the various halls to man them, ensure that nobody enters. There are people who are clearing and sweeping the debris off the roads, and that is what is happening currently on the campus of KNUST.
Erastus, let's talk about that high meeting yesterday. Government sends a delegation. There was the National Security Minister, there was the Education Minister, there was the Information Minister designate. What are we picking from what happened at the meeting? You know, we've heard in some quarters that it ended inconclusively.
Exactly. We were briefed yesterday by the University Relations Officer. They said that the Vice-Chancellor initially briefed the entourage about what has been happening on campus so far, and so he gave a history of it. There were representatives of the student body who also gave their side of the story as well. They also invited other stakeholders who also gave a series of reports on what has happened. We were told by the University Relations Officer that after the meeting, they've been asked to do the council meeting. So the council of the university will meet, and then after they've met, they will liaise with government and the various stakeholders to try to draw a roadmap to restoring law and order, to resolving the issues that created this whole brouhaha, and again fix the damage that has been caused to property on campus. After these, then they will be able to set a date where school will reopen. And so currently, Kojo Nkrumah, who is the Information Minister, said that they could not give any further information. They have to brief the president first, and after that, they will also do further investigations before they come up finally with a statement on what they think about the situation. So a whole lot is happening. Yesterday, the Bantama chief also came on campus, and he is representing the chancellor of this university, who is the Asantehene Otumfuo Setutu II. They also came to do a fact-finding mission, assess the situation, assess the devastation, and report to the Asante Council and Otumfuo. They are also inviting all the stakeholders, the university authorities, the student body, and other stakeholders to the Menchia Palace on Thursday. That is tomorrow. And they are going to listen to them, hear from them firsthand what they think of the situation, what their grievances are, and they are going to liaise with government.
Erastus Asari Donko reporting for us at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology live in Kumasi this morning. Trust us, we'll bring you up to speed with what is latest with this particular issue.